It's time for Democrats, Republicans, and Independents to acknowledge two things. One is the strongest conceivable gun control laws won't stop all acts of violence, but also to acknowledge that the stronger our gun control laws are, the fewer acts of violence, including mass violence, that will happen in our society.
There are multiple layers here, and if we're having a serious conversation about reducing the risk of this happening again, we better start dealing with all those layers. It's about privacy, it's about mental health counseling, it's about identifying aberrant, destructive behavior and getting these people the help they need at the outset.
Look, I was, many years ago, I would commit people against their will from the Massachusetts General Hospital to state hospitals if they were a danger to themselves and to others. It's become much harder to do. It's not something any psychiatrist ever does lightly. But the dilemma for a parent is that you're in these terrible relationships. Think of Jared Loughner, the Tucson shooter. Everybody who came in contact with him, teachers, fellow students, knew he was not well, and they knew he was dangerous. One student said that she fled the class, or she sat in the back of the class so she could escape in case something happened. And you've got a parent who knows all this is going on and is told by the authorities, because of the rise of civil liberties and the experience that we had in the 50s of the abuse of incarceration of the mentally ill, where it becomes impossible. And they'll say to a parent, until he does something, our hands are tied. And that is a terrible tragedy. The parents are caught in an impossible situation. And it isn't until the Jared Loughners commit the atrocity that the state steps in. In his case, the state has found he's a paranoid schizophrenic, which was obvious from the moment his incident happened. Now, we don't know exactly about Adam Lanza, but it's a picture of a withdrawn, possibly autistic child, video games, enclosed in his own world, a parent clearly living alone with him, obviously unable to cope. The terrible tragedy happens. And what's the first thing he does on that horrible day? He kills his mother. This is a situation where I empathize with every parent or relative, because where do you turn under the current laws? Well, it's very odd. I mean, we have the mass media. Ever since the Kennedy assassination, when these things happen, we become a community. That was really the first time we nationally mourned. And it's very difficult to do. I think when we talk about it happening at the community level and the family level, there are these mental health experts who go in and they counsel, and I think they do an extraordinary job. But in the end, I mean, we really come up against that question that you asked the rabbi earlier in the show. For these, I mean, the most profound explanations are often are theological. And we really don't have very good theological explanations. It's called the problem of theodicy, the presence of evil in the presence of God, all-loving God. And as humans, we really don't. And when you ask, how do you counsel people, there really is nothing that one can offer in the way of explanation other than love and protection, really.
This has been a Sunfish production.